very controversial because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Football from independence, there was always a relationship between the president and football. In 2005, 2006, when that relationship was broken, I cautioned certain people. Me catch it up, so kaya. Says I did amuye, no for politics and my football, because MPP were power and Tino. More years of FIFA, CC, FIFA and cash. Presidents always appointed the FA chairman, so there was a good nexus between government and football. And Kruma, Ohnija, Ntina, only no work together. So them so during the PNDC, NDC time, ET Mensa would nominate 2 people. No, they are back. Football Congress, near used to back. It worked. Clubs, no, so the vice chairman, Beba. We had then a 5-member management board of the FA, which was a good arrangement. Somehow, MPP ba power and Kwana, say NDC phobia, say then it been my question, say government don't sign nominate. Meanwhile, first we nominated President Kufuor, nominated Ben Kofi. Ben Kofi, no, a bit elderly. I think he's passed on.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, Ben Kofi. And after that, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. It was during Nyaho's time there were some issues, and Nyaho resigned, and then President, I think, sent him out as an ambassador. I was of the view, say, let's go ahead and appoint another, because that was what was pertaining. FIFA had no issues with that. FIFA only comes in when there's confusion. So, but we are a sovereign country. I think we should go back to that relationship. We should go back to that.
Appointed every chairman.
Not they always bring 2 nominees, football people, because
we choose one.
And it was working, it was smooth. When it got to the NDC time, there was a lot of tension because they wanted somebody who they wanted to be comfortable, and I think that what they reserved that right. Almost football, my views on that. I've said it to many people personally and talked to them, and I remember in 2006 telling certain NDC seniors at Hoy, and I think Ernest Thompson, Michelle Stadium of Faransa funeral. I said, I'm catching them say, Mamma fa politics, fry football. In now walk we saw has Yenshana ball in Kuyi. The president has to have an eye in football because football is so critical for Ghana. Obviously, there be a Congress. As if football is an island. It's not an island. So I'm sure. What has happened? A few people took over football because the Congress has only 120 people, and you know what happens. I mean, to control 120 people is not. Especially at the time when money came into football. That was the first time we went to a World Cup, 26, 2010, 2014, and anything that goes to the World Cup gets at no less than $10 million. Never accounted to anybody. People became law unto themselves, and I kept advising. I even called Alaji Jawula, so friend Abusano. I've had to talk to Nana Brew Butler. I'm a friend Penifun. We said, look, let's sit down and get back to this arrangement that worked for Ghana. After all, President Yon appointed Chief Justice, or appointed Electoral Commissioner, or appointed Chief of Defense Staff, any IGP, Bank of Ghana, or appointed. Now, other football is this special? So, football is only Ghana Football Association. And so, who is in charge of Ghana? It's the president. So, at least every 4 years, he is accountable to the people. But to have a football that has become an island, FIFA, are they God? FIFA is under the rules of Switzerland, one small country that does not play much football anyway. In Sensema by FIFA, it was the prosecutor general in Zurich who ordered investigation into FIFA's and they are not a law unto themselves. I cannot understand why they want to behave as if they can enter into any country and do what they want. And I remember when we were in government, I was trying to prevail on our sports minister to Yanko AU, get all African ministers to stop FIFA. Where is CAF? Do you ever hear of CAF? Why should there be FIFA when there is no CAF? If we are Ghana, if there's anybody to interact with, it has to be CAF. Why do we go to FIFA? We just say, would they say CAF? FIFA bear some terrorist organization. And look at what happened. The corruption that engulfed it. It was only exposed because the Americans and the Russians, the Americans lost the bid for the World Cup.
And the British.
The English lost the bid. They were so furious, and they started digging into it. And I'm sure some of these tapes that are coming, I saw Daily Telegraph. Yeah. It is something that the British did because they never were satisfied with the decision to hand over 2018 to Russia and 2022 to Qatar, because they knew something was going on in football. And a lot has happened. It's unfortunate a player like Michel Platini had to fall. All these things happening. I think locally, let's get down to basics. Let the football people meet and understand that it is the government's money that we use to build stadia. It's the people's money that we use to support the national team. And then there will not be one tradition in office forever. So we should have the calendar such that the president comes in, he should be able to football for NDC for ABP for so so me catch them say, hey, idea 2006, some mechanic cry. Now we will not be in power forever. That time we were in power. I didn't even think that we were going to lose that early, say 2008. Now can I say, you be a Dutch bino, I'm catching them. Oh, stadium. Na NDC aba, na mo pese mo sumu nipa ebe FA chairman. NDC ya na minim se 2009 ombeba eba ya fe na mo pe FA chairman e dia ekoye he ntokwa court to sem na DNA could grab GFA offices. All these things will not happen if the president knows that he has somebody he can call at the head of the FA. And FA's football is critical to Ghana. Yentimi fe niagro. Krofope. Adia ye lose match ni petimi ewu fa ho.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to this edition of the show. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. We have a lot going on tonight. That was Company Japan again, and many people have seen me calling for the video. They want something to be implemented. We are hearing that there's a demonstration that's coming up on Valentine's Day, isn't it? And then when it comes up on Valentine's Day, we will see how it works. 26 minutes past the top of the hour at 9 o'clock. Good evening. Welcome to a very good Tuesday. Tonight, we have a lot of political information to share with you. We begin with our story on President John Dramani Mahama, who, in running his campaign, he has said that the naming or renaming of public universities will be reversed. That's our first story. It's a very feisty editorial that will go for. Please get me the editorial montage. MCR, get me the editorial montage ready. It's a feisty editorial that we're going to pick up with President Mahama because we are concerned about diminishing the aspirational nature of the society. A society, every society, and you learn it from the Americans, every society must be aspirational. And anything that will diminish the aspirational quotient of the society, as media, we ought to be worried about it. We'll be dealing with that with President Mahama. Also, Fifi Kwete has been speaking, hasn't he? And Fifi Kwete has said that Dr. Bahamadu Bawumia is a disgrace to the people of the North and the Northern region. We'll assess the speech of Fifi Kwete and determine whether he's speaking the truth or perhaps he should have been kinder with his words, given his own political background as a former minister and his own role as a politician. To call another politician a disgrace, it's interesting, but we'll check it out and you'll see the details right here. That will be another feisty presentation on the Fifi Kwete matter. Also, tonight, we have some analysis. Info Analytics is a research group that has been researching into political outcomes. Sometimes they get it wrong. Often they get it right. They are predicting that John Dramani Mahama will win the 2024 election, and they have some details of it. They have surveyed a sample size, a good sample size, and they think that John Mahama will win the election. We'll show you the analysis, and then we'll discuss our own analysis of why the parliamentary elections of 2024 should be looked at in a different way. It's going to present a whole different kettle of fish, the 2024 parliamentary elections. We'll be showing you on the touch screen that 2024 is the election where the presidential dynamics could be completely different from many of the parliamentary dynamics, and we'll take it historically and share that with you. Also, Alhassan Bello is coming to tell us what is wrong with Senegalese President Macky Sall and his government. Why do they want to have a third term? Why do they want to postpone the election? These things are happening too many times in French West Africa, and we think that we have to look at that again. So, Alhassan Bello, your favorite international relations correspondent, will be on the touch screen to tell us where we are on that one. So, that promises to be a full, feisty political evening with us here on Good Evening Ghana. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. It promises to be wow. When we want to do these things, we need some inspiration. So we're going all the way to the statue of Hermes, which stands in the middle of Commonwealth Hall in the Vandal City, where they're going to give us some inspiration, and then we'll hit the touch screen. Yeah, the Vandals urging us to charge on.
Now you be Oga. Oh, good evening. Now you be Oga. Good evening. Now you be Oga.
Good evening, Ghana. I see.
Yes. Okay, we are back. We're back on now. I am going to the touch screen just to deal with this. Okay, so campaign 2024. It's sorry. Let me grab my other document. I wrote something at the back of an envelope. Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay, there it is. I was going to scream on Kweku and say that where is the I wrote VOCC has a scribbling on the back of an envelope. Sorry about that. When it gets very busy, sometimes it's like that. Okay, welcome to the show. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has been speaking on his campaign, and I like the way the campaign is running, and President Mahama is giving it a lot of seriousness, and we commend him for that. He's interested in getting to the Ghanaian people and telling them what he has to offer. Here he says, NDC will restore original names of universities renamed by Akufo-Addo, says President Mahama. And the universities include technical universities. And I read the story. I saw some people were supporting it, some people were against it. But I'd like to sound this editorial about this claim or this promise by President Mahama. So with due respect to the editorial montage, here it is. Our opinion. President John Dramani Mahama says NDC will restore original names of universities. I think we have the video of him talking about it. Can we see the video now, please?
We are known as the nation builders, NDC, because of the number of schools we have built. Every public university was initiated and built by us. All MPP knows how to do is to name universities that people have built. So after NDC builds the university, then they will come and give it a name of one of their heroes or one of their people. We are going to rename the universities.
President Mahama says he's going to bring back the universities' names, the original names, and that MPP just know how to name. They don't know how to build, they only know how to name. I think this is quite unfortunate, viewers. I think it's quite unfortunate because quite apart from the fact that it's a token and it's intangible, this naming of things, which we have all learned from America and have learned from Britain and have learned from advanced societies, is about creating an aspirational society. So we look for the best in our society. We look for people we can call distinguished Ghanaians. And there are distinguished Ghanaians in NDC. There are distinguished Ghanaians in MPP. So when you have distinguished Ghanaians, you name things after them so that the young people will ask, who is X? And they are told about the life of the person. That's why history must be restored to our curricula. God bless Dr. Educhum for doing that. History to be restored to our curricula. So that when they say that this is named after Mr. X, they ask, who is Mr. X? And his story, his life story, his achievements will be an aspiration for the young people. So that if in 2017 or in 1917, there were 19 distinguished Ghanaians, and we named stuff after the 19 distinguished Ghanaians, and 2,000 children read their story, and out of the 2,000 children, 1,000 or even 500 were able to emulate the 19, then in 1930, we now have 30 distinguished Ghanaians. If we name something after the 30 distinguished Ghanaians, and 5,000 children see it, and 2,000 of them are inspired by that story and live their dream to become like those people, then we have another 500 distinguished Ghanaians. Over a 50-year period, we have used the aspirational society concept to develop many Ghanaians to become distinguished Ghanaians. That's the purpose of the renaming. But even forget about that. President Mahama, I don't know whether his advisors looked at the list of the names before they concluded that it was MPP. Here is Wa Polytechnic, named after Hilal Man. Hilal Man has nothing to do with MPP. Hilal Man is an opponent of MPP. But Hilal Man is interesting in this equation. Hilal Man was a Ghanaian diplomat, but we take that off. Bring back Wa University. I'll get to that. Bring back the university. So the university in Wa is named after Hilal Man. Hilal Man is not an MPP person. Now, for President Mahama, I'm not so sure whether his advisors looked at the list before they spoke. This is Dr. Liman, who should be President Mahama's hero. Dr. Liman was the first president from the northern sector of Ghana. Hilal Liman, he was not an MPP member. He was an Nkrumah CPP. Well, Liman was MPP before, but he ran elections as an Nkrumah CPP. Boro Igala, one of President Mahama's father's godfather, Igala, whom President Mahama must have heard his name from the time he was growing up in Tamale, Igala brought Liman. And Liman became the first northern president, winning the second round of the election in 1979. Akufo-Addo decides, after several years of the violent overthrow of Liman's government by J.J. Rawlings and his cohorts, out of which NDC is born, out of which President Mahama becomes a deputy minister and the vice president and the president, President Mahama is only the second president from the north. He's saying that his predecessor, Dr. Hilal Liman's name has been put on Wa Polytechnic. They should cancel it. What kind of politics is this? What kind of politics is this? And I know President Mahama. I don't think he's at fault. It is his advisors, the people advising President Mahama. What are you telling him? We have a serious election to run. President Mahama must be outlining his vision. I'll get there. Why does President Mahama feel that because he is President Mahama, Hilal Liman, who won one of the most credible elections in the history of Ghana, 1979's election, is yet till today one of the most credible elections in the history of Ghana. Hilal Liman won it. And he became president. He was elected. He took the oath. He's the first president from the north. President Mahama says he's going to cancel it. He's going to remove Hilal Liman's name from Wa Polytechnic because he's running elections against MPP. He says he's going to take out Hilal Liman's name. You can say that person X does not deserve to be his name to be there. I think it should be person Y. We can debate that. We can ventilate that. That's okay. You can say that I don't think it should be SB Dombo. I think it should be Mumuni Baumia. You can say that. But you can't say that all the names that they've given, I will take it off and I'll bring back the original names. So you're going to cancel President Liman and he's going to go back to Wa Polytechnic. Those who reviewed President Mahama's speech, did they see, did they check, did they ask for the list? The list of the people who have been renamed so that you can see some names in it. Look at President Mahama's, President Liman. This is President Liman's inauguration. Have a look at this, very short. I'll come back to the story. This is President Liman's inauguration.
I do hereby dedicate myself to the service and well-being of the people of Ghana. So help me God.
President Liman took the oath in 1979. How old was I? I was about 4 or something like that. Dr. Liman took the oath, the first northern leader to take the oath. And President Mahama says that because President Akufo-Addo has named Wa Polytechnic after Dr. Liman, he's going to cancel it. I don't understand how anybody should be able to say that, especially a former president say that another president's name has been put on Wa Polytechnic and I'm going to cancel it because Liman comes from the upper west region. As he, Gwelu is in that area, Tumu is in that area, and so Wa Polytechnic, the regional capital, where the Polytechnic is, Akufo-Addo decides that we need to honor the memory of Hilal Liman. He was president and he was violently overthrown. Liman didn't leave the politics of Ghana. He stayed in Ghana, continued to work in the politics. In 1992, he was part of the process. Liman was part of the process even up to 1996. Liman gave us Edward Mahama. And so Liman's name has been put on Wa Polytechnic. President Mahama says, because of campaign, because we don't like Akufo-Addo, they didn't even look, they didn't even check it. They should go and apologize to Liman's family and the people of Gwelu for the message that President Mahama gave. He should go and apologize to Liman's family. You look at Dr. Liman and tell him that I will take your name from Wa Polytechnic because Akufo-Addo did it. Forget about Dr. Liman. Let's move on. Look at this. This was the one that shocked me. Did they really check it? President Mahama's advisors, did they check? Look at this. University of Mines and Technology. Please put on the screen for our people to see. Put on the screen so that our distinguished viewers can see. Yes, and take off the things on the screen, please. So thank you, so they can see well. University of Mines and Technology. We've always known University of Mines and Technology. It's in Takwa. Akufo-Addo decides that he's naming it after George Grant. So it's now called the George Grant University of Mines and Technology. And President Mahama says George Grant does not deserve a name. Do you know who Pa Grant is? Pa Grant is the founder of the Big Six. Pa Grant. He founded the Big Six. George Alfred Grant. He is the founder of the Big Six who founded Ghana. Pa Grant's name has been put on the university. President Mahama has the effrontery to talk about Pa Grant. That Pa Grant's name, he will cancel it. That they come and... Is Pa Grant an MPP person? Pa Grant, is he a member of the MPP? Was he even a member of the UP? Was he even a member of the NLM? Pa Grant's money is what was given to Dankwa to be given to Akwaje to bring Nkrumah to Ghana. George Alfred Grant, he started the first movement after the Aborigines. It was his money that moved all of these things forward. The whole independence struggle goes all the way to Pa Grant. We should be setting up a Pa Grant Foundation somewhere here in Accra, and a civil society organization that shows how business and resources can be used to mobilize political philosophy. And President Mahama and his advisors, instead of telling us their vision for 2024, they say that they will cancel the names that have been named. So President Mahama, the 7th president of the Republic of Ghana, says that Pa Grant, the founder of the Big Six, John Dramani Mahama, will change Pa Grant's name of University of Technology because it was Akufo-Addo who did it. I don't even get it. Anyway, let's move on. This one, look at this. Whole Technical University was set up by the NDC. Correct. Good work. Whole Technical University, Akufo-Addo looks at it and thinks that, to create an aspirational society, Ephraim Amu. Is Ephraim Amu a member of the NPP? President Mahama's advisors, please, we want a better campaign. We want a more solid campaign that we can deal with. That is outlining vision that excites the young people of Ghana. We can go to the ballot having 2 good visions, and then we choose one. Good, better, best. We can go to the ballot like that. The people of Ghana deserve that. We deserve 2 visions that are great, and then we choose one. One is good and one is best. President Mills said that he's coming to create a better Ghana because he acknowledged that John Kufuor had created a good Ghana. That's what we want. We can have 2 distinguished, very, very well thought out policies, and the people of Ghana choose one so that we can say that we go to bed, whoever wins the election, we are fine because both visions are good. We need a vision. We need President Mahama to communicate a vision to us. Please, Mr. Advisor, Dr. Manibo Ama and Co., get us something. You are telling us that the whole technical university named after Ephraim Amu is an anathema to the society of Ghana, that Ephraim Amu's name is put on whole technical university. President Mahama feels that it's an anathema and therefore he will cancel it. You will cancel Ephraim Amu. John Dramani Mahama is now able to cancel Ephraim Amu and Pa Grant because Akufo-Addo did it. Akufo-Addo, we should thank him for recognizing that these people have not been recognized enough. They are not members of his party. Ephraim Amu is not a member of his party. Everybody in Ghana knows about Ephraim Amu. Professor Mills, when he was alive, he acknowledged Theodosia Okun. Many of us had not heard the name Theodosia Okun before. Theodosia Okun was the one who designed the Ghana flag. Professor Mills went to Enum, to the home of Theodosia Okun. Today, when you drive by Enum, I go there many times. When you go to Enum, you will see that in Theodosia Okun's house, next time I go there, I'll take a photograph. Maybe this weekend I'll go there. I'll take a photograph and come and show it to you. Theodosia Okun's house, they've decorated it, they've put the Ghana flag there, and they have a huge photograph of Mills and Theodosia Okun. Professor Mills went all the way there when he was told that this is the woman who designed the Ghana flag. John Dramani Mahama feels that Ephraim Amu Ephraim Amu's name on whole technical university is an anathema to the development of Ghanaian society? Is that what President Mahama is telling us? I get very disturbed when I observe these political campaigns, because I've seen campaigns from the past and I don't know what is happening. But I don't blame President Mahama. I always say that he's a very decent guy. But the advisors, are there not people who look through his speech? Are there not people who look at the speech? Are there not people who do that? Right now, half of our team is out there. Do you know what they are doing? They are filming the background preparations of what is going to happen tomorrow at Dr. Bawumia's forum. They are filming it. And you will see the amount of work that goes into these things. And I believe the same goes on in the NDC. It's the same thing. But what is happening? Before President Mahama spoke, did somebody check it to tell him that, hey, Mr. President, you can't say that? Because if you say that, Dr. Liman, Ephraim Amu, power grant, we can't argue on that one. That one you can't say it. If you like, you can pick specific one and say that I don't think they should have been named after SB Dobo. I think it should have been named after Mumuni Bawumia. Or I think it should have been named after Iye Mahama. Or I think it should have been named after Loyal Hassan. I mentioned the Northern Stalwarts. I think it should have been named after Yana Yakubu Andani. Something like that. But if you say, as he did, that we are going to change all the names because Akufo-Addo names it. Ephraim Amu is a member of the MPP. Ephraim Amu died before MPP was born. Ephraim Amu is a stalwart. Ephraim Amu is a distinguished Ghanaian. These things are being done to extol the virtues of distinguished Ghanaians so that we can create an aspirational society. This kind of society in Ghana since the coup era, where we should all come down to everybody's level, is wrong. And it is only now that Ghana is beginning to be aspirational. Many of our presidents, Professor Mills, maybe, certainly John Ajay Kufuor, and definitely Nana Akufo-Addo, have taken this aspirational society up so that we can grow. We can grow as a society. People want to be like Ephraim Amu. People want to be like Hilali Man. People want to be like that. People want to be like this. That's why we name. So you can decide to take the name out, but it doesn't matter. You can put another name on. But don't come and tell us that I will change every name when Ephraim Amu's name is there. You are going to change Ephraim Amu's name. Should any Ghanaian politician be able to talk like that? That I will take Ephraim Amu's name off. George Alfred Grant, Pa Grant, the one who gave birth to the Big Six. His name is given to Takwa University after him. That's where he came from. That's where he was. That's where he stayed. That's where Nkrumah came. That's where Dankwa used to go. Obechebe Lamte, Awono Williams. They all go to Takwa to go and see Pa Grant and take money from Pa Grant for the purpose of the operations of the United Gold Coast Convention. And John Mahama says today that we shouldn't name Pa Grant, doesn't deserve a name on the university. He doesn't. He only deserves a name in some house in the university or some library. Pa Grant and Ephraim Amu, Dr. Liman, are they MPP people? Well, I don't understand this. Who is here? K.A. Buzia, University of Energy and Natural Resources. K.A. Buzia. John Mahama says K.A. Buzia doesn't deserve a name. He doesn't deserve to be named. He doesn't deserve any name on him. K.A. Buzia. K.A. Buzia. Former Prime Minister. Kofi Abrefa-Buzia. He doesn't deserve it because he's MPP. Yes, Kofi Abrefa-Buzia is MPP. But beyond that, Kofi Abrefa-Buzia is a distinguished Ghanaian. You cannot say Kofi Abrefa-Buzia is not a distinguished Ghanaian. No one can say that. Even Kwame Nkrumah will not say that. His principal opponents in parliament will not say that. Kofi Abrefa-Buzia is a distinguished Ghanaian. You can't take that away from him. And so if they name an university after him, it is well placed. Please tell them that it is well placed. That's not the focus of 2024. We want to know how you can deliver. Because the first time people think you were not able to deliver. Now you say you can deliver. How? By changing names? By reverting to the old names? Taking out Ephraim Amu's name? Taking out George Alfred Grant? Taking out K.A. Buzia? Dr. Hilali Man? You are cancelling their names? You don't like it? Are they MPP people? Even if they are they distinguished Ghanaians or not? I think this should be the focus of the campaign. This one should be the focus of the campaign. This is the one that President Mahama really doesn't like. UDS Navrongo campus, named after C.K. Tedem, who is a stalwart of the MPP. But C.K. Tedem is a distinguished Ghanaian. C.K. Tedem has been there from the beginning of the politics. C.K. Tedem and co. put their lives at stake when there was a PDA, Preventive Detention Act. C.K. Tedem and the likes of Aram Ponsa, Mumuni Bawumia, they were in parliament trying to make Ghana succeed in the midst of the crisis of the 60s. The security crisis of the 60s, the political crisis of the 60s that led Ghana into a one-party state in 1964. C.K. Tedem and co. They gave up their lives. They went to prison for this cause. that eventually we're able to get a new constitution that guarantees the rights that we are all enjoying today. CK Tedem is MPP, so CK Tedem doesn't deserve a name on Avrongo University. That's what John Mahama is saying. Okay, CK Tedem doesn't deserve it. What about George Grant? What about Liman? I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. Wa Campus, SB Dombo, this is the other one that President Mahama doesn't like. But SB Dombo is the one who gave us K.A. Buzia. Because Dombo it was, who was the leader of the Northern People's Party. Now Dombo was the founder of a party called the Northern People's Party, which included Mumuni Bawumia and which gave the North an identity. So I don't know whether the people advising John Mahama have studied the history of the North. SD Dombo is the one who fought hard for the Northern People's Party that gave the North an identity. And indeed, the MPP, the Northern People's Party, became the force behind the UP that moved in democracy to fight the CPP over the democratic credentials of the country. That eventually was restored in 1969. Later on, 1979, now we have a fourth Republican Constitution. Almost every human rights article in the 1992 Constitution was founded in 1969 Constitution. It was Dombo who produced Buzia to the parliament. He said that Professor Buzia is more distinguished than I am. So even though I have the majority, I want him to lead because he can champion this better than me. The sacrifice, selfless sacrifice of Dombo is the reason why they have named UDS campus after him. So that the young people will learn that there's something called sacrifice at the top. It's aspirational. Then they become great. Like Dombo became great. President Mahama, a Northerner, says that one of the founders of the Northern People's Party, SD Dombo, because he's MPP, he doesn't deserve his name on UDS campus. How bad can this get? How bad can this get? How bad can this get? I get worried when the campaign is focusing on things that it ought not to be focusing on. The campaign must focus on things that it ought to focus on. And we need President Mahama to address the vision. We need him clearly to come and address the vision. What is the vision of President John Dramani Mahama? We know he has a vision. You cannot have been vice president, be president, running for president again, and you don't have a vision. President Mahama certainly has a vision. He must tell us his vision. He must just come and tell us what his vision is. We will take the vision, we will analyze it, we'll serialize it, and we'll put it on a touch screen and we'll look at it. And people can be excited by that and they may vote for him. But these kinds of comments that are almost... Let me know what word to use. I think increasingly they must go back to the Kwesi Botwe report because Kwesi Botwe report had an advice on President Mahama's advisors. They know. I've read it, but they saw it before I saw it. They know. Dr. Kwesi Botwe, may he rest in peace. He wrote an advice for President Mahama's advisors. It looks like that has not been adhered to. They have not adhered to that. Because look at this. Look at this. Why is President, a whole president, why is he allowed to say this? A whole president is running for election again. John Dramani Mahama. Why is he allowed to say this? Anyway, we're talking about vision. We're getting close to 10 now. So, in conclusion, let President Mahama show us his vision. Come and tell us that this is the vision I have for the people of Ghana in my second coming. This is the vision I have for the people of Ghana in my second coming. And then the people of Ghana will evaluate it and they will vote for you. In fact, this is his second attempt at the second coming because that was not the first one. That was not the first attempt. I have Koko Anyidoho here. What's he saying? And I like his post because it resonates with the aspirational society I'm talking about. He says to President Mahama, you consciously refuse to honor the memory of the doyens of the NDC. Why blame others for honoring the memory of their doyens? Even Asumdue Park, you failed to build. You hate me the more for begging Akufo-Addo to build it. You don't know how to honor. If you don't know how to honor, carry your wahala. I don't necessarily associate with him in terms of his politics, but the views that he has expressed here. Viewers, you are the jury. Koko Anyidoho is coming from the belly of the elephant. I'm not there. And then he goes on to say, isn't it a continuation of the endless drop cycle of do me, I do you politics, which sinks the nation deeper into throes of gross mediocrity? If you name UHAS at Tamils University for Health and Allied Sciences, how does that affect his core mandate? Honestly, if I was President Akufo-Addo, after building Asumdue Park, I will name it UHAS after Atta Mills and see if Opana will dare say he will change that one too. Oh, but I'm sure that the people who are writing President Mahama's speech, they have not seen it because they are daring to change George Alfred Grant, the colossal George Grant. the colossal George Grant. John Dramani Mahama says you remove that. George Grant doesn't deserve it. Hilary Mann, his predecessor, northern president, he doesn't deserve it. Akenten Appiah-Minka, he doesn't deserve it. Now, let me say something about Appiah-Minka. You have the Appiah-Minka video. The Appiah-Minka post for the school. I don't know what school it is. Let's see whether I can get it. Appiah-Minka is an MPP man. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, it's here. Appiah-Minka University. Yes, I'm not sure where this is. I think this is in Kumasi somewhere. Appiah-Minka University. Appiah-Minka is an MPP person. He's a UP guy. He was Deputy Attorney General in Buzia's government. So he's a thorough UP guy. Of course, he went to Adisadel and he always reminds you about it. I used to spend time with him in his Kumasi house in Ahonjo. It was next to Capital Radio. I think he still has the house. His son lives there. And I'll go there on Saturday mornings when I was going to do a Asante Kotoko match in Kumasi. I'll go and sit with Appiah-Minka and he give me nice food and we have a long chat. Appiah-Minka taught me a lot about the history of Ghanaian politics. Sitting one-on-one with him on Saturdays in his home in Kumasi. Appiah-Minka is a particularly distinguished Ghanaian. Look at what he does with industrialization. He did the industrialization so hard that J.J. Rawlings had to take up campaign against Appiah-Minka and said to Ghanaians, I don't buy Appiah-Minka soap. Many of our viewers are young. They don't remember these things. I was young too, so I know that you've not even heard about it because they took the history out of your curricula. They didn't allow you to learn it because they didn't want your eyes to open. So they didn't teach you history. They said, take history out of the curricula. Whoever took that decision must bow his head in shame by this time. So Appiah-Minka was an MPP person. But he's an industrialist. Appiah-Minka shows what you can do with your education as a lawyer and combine it with industrialization in making soap. He was not a chemist. He was not a biochemist. He had a vision to make soap. And he got biochemists and chemists to put it together, chemical engineering, and he created the Apino brand of soap in Kumasi, all over the country. In Cote d'Ivoire, he was exporting. In the 80s, Akenta Appiah-Minka. That is how distinguished he is. Now, if an industrialization university is set up and is named after Appiah-Minka, John Dramani Mahama says, no, he's an MPP person, so I'll take his name off. Your predecessor, that is President Mahama's predecessor, Professor Jonathan Mills, when he set up the Constitution Review Commission, it's quite a controversial matter. You know, anytime we talk about constitutional review, it gets very controversial. When Professor Mills set up the Constitution Review Committee, Akenten Appiah-Minka was on. Professor Mills nominated Appiah-Minka to be on. Have a look at this video. When I appeared before the commission, this Appiah-Minka, for those of you who don't know him, this is he. This Appiah-Minka.
You are one of the most respected men of the media in this country. Even though they may not be this one, the one which you really expect, but you will agree with me that there is a convention which has been established in this country where presidents, including the last but one and the present one, have created Meet the People and Meet the Press. Have you ever been there to express your views about what you think is going wrong in the country, and you have never been given the opportunity? Because there's this president of Meet the Press, where the president is open to the whole media, the whole public, for them to ask him questions about what is happening in the country, policy, administration, even rumors, as well as Meet the People. You are a member of the media, a well-respectable member of the media. Have you been there to express your views on this issue, and you have never been given the opportunity?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I am happy to respond to the Meet the Press.
That's Akenten Appiah-Minka. We had a beautiful conversation that day after we spoke a lot about it and all that. This is Professor Mills's Constitution Review Committee, chaired by Fiajo. He's a distinguished Ghanaian. He's such a distinguished Ghanaian. It's about people who are distinguished. I'll tell you a last story, just a very final anecdote. One of the conversations I had many years ago with President Akufo-Addo when he was Attorney General. And I asked him about his nominations to the Supreme Court. He had nominated a very powerful Supreme Court. That's what the lawyers were telling all about, that this is one of the best Supreme Courts we've had. It had Dr. Dateba, it had Modibo Okran, it had, I believe, Fiajo, and the tall guy, Kluje. Yes, Justice Kluje, Justice Modibo Okran, Fiajo, and Dateba. So these nominations came to the Supreme Court, and people were wondering, where do they stand? Modibo Okran was taught to be CPP in school, and there's an MPP government and all of that. So I went to him. I said, Attorney General, so we have these conversations. I said, why? What happened? These nominations that you made with the President to the Supreme Court, people are talking about it as being very positive. But I like to know the background of the people. You know what he said to me? He said to me that when he was in school in Legon, these were the brightest law students He didn't study law at Lagos. He studied economics in Lagos. But so when he was studying economics, when he was in school, and that's what he told me. And these are his contemporaries. And these were the brightest of the lot. I said, really? So, Dateba, Fiajo, and Modibo Okran, I should go and ask Bimpombuta. That Bimpombuta was past the age. Otherwise, he would have nominated him for the Supreme Court as well. Every law student now knows the late Professor Bimpombuta. That's what Akufo-Addo told me. And I was very gratified as a young journalist that this is the basis on which the Attorney General has nominated people to the Supreme Court. Fantastic. He said, when I was in school in Legon, these were the brightest law students. So when I became Attorney General, I asked my friends that, where are these people? And fortunately, they've all been in academia. They are practicing in America. They are experts in their own right. So I wrote to them and I said, come and be on the Supreme Court of Ghana. Go and look at the Supreme Court rulings that these guys gave. Professor Dateba, out of the roof. Modibo Okran, fantastic. Professor Kluje, luminary. That is how societies are built. Aspirational. And give the right people the opportunity. Not to come and tell us that I'm going to change the name, I'm going to change. What is the point? What really is the point about that? Please, President Mohammed's advices, the campaign has about started. We are in February. We are going to be keeping an eye on these things. Show us your vision. Show us the vision and allow us to interrogate the vision. Meanwhile, talk about vision. It's 1 minute past 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, Dr. Bawumia, no, not this one yet. This is for Fifi Kwete's event. Tomorrow, Dr. Bawumia will be giving a speech of his vision of sorts. Have a look at this.
Hello, good people of Ghana. In recent months, the New Patriotic Party has been actively preparing for the 2024 elections. Earlier, when I was elected as flag bearer, I announced that I have my own vision for Ghana. We've just finished electing parliamentary candidates across various constituencies. And now, we are ready to kickstart a series of engagements nationwide with you, the good people of Ghana. I, Mahamudu Bawumia, flag bearer of the MPP, will set the ball rolling by outlining highlights of my vision for Ghana's next chapter. I invite you to join me on 7th February 2024 at 5 p.m. live on your favorite TV, radio, and digital platforms to hear what I will do by God's grace.
To hear what I will do by God's grace. So that's the vision statement, and we know how much work is being done on this. Maybe on Thursday we'll tell you what we know, but the amount of work that is going on in the preparation right now, I speak to you, I think they are the venue. They're doing their rehearsal, they're putting things together. All sorts of stakeholders have been interviewed to put something together and to create a vision. I hope the vision comes out well and Ghanaians like it and perhaps they'll buy it. But I also sincerely hope, above all things, that President Mahama will also set out a vision. A very competitive vision, so that Ghanaians can go to bed thinking that we have two visions, good, better, best, and we're there. So it's a call on the President Bawumia says he's going to set up his vision tomorrow. That's Mahamudu Bawumia over here. He's going to set up his vision tomorrow. We're expecting President Mahama also to come up with a vision. We hope that President Mahama's vision will be more powerful because he's been president before. At least Dr. Bawumia has not been president before. There's a Kofi Bento thing going on that we'll talk about a bit later. It's 3 minutes past the top of the hour 10. Tomorrow is the day for Dr. Bawumia's UPSA. It's happening at UPSA where he's delivering his vision to Ghanaians in his campaign. So we urge all of you to have a look at it. We will be looking at it paragraph by paragraph and we'll interrogate it and deal with it. Good luck to Dr. Bawumia tomorrow. Good luck.
We are back, bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two, with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
These adverts
have been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh bread.
I'm a fat missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Matasi.
Her smile,
the fresh breath.
me Gidi said we used to Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind.
Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim Jom Kasan. Kile Hossein. Cal 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see so feeling Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance, and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ikropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ikropong right after the Latte Junction, or in Ebri near the Ebri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
Stadium feeling, everything 12 January, I copy him say about Afcon every year. My Afcon and Soja call, I won't fear Hisense TV, Afcon TV, and a sound system. Yatiso say who? A Hisense Afcon double promo. Yeah, best you Afcon beer. I love Afcon beer. Can clear our Hisense and the Afcon TV so. Don't hear that. Let's comment in Nusu Chagua. Tieni clear our Hisense sound system so. Bora Hisense showroom bia. Na ube usa ya TV any sound system so. Esan Afcon ninti. Sa uto ade wa Hisense ya. Wasumu Jones Hisense kwa na ma 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Sa Afcon radio. Yama ni jeno anya double. Every say Hisense will hama. Hisense. Yene wanna to combo so. Esan football ninti.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatments like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the healer.
Customer. Nadabena mincha, metra papa. Mitra 10 Ghana. 10 Ghana. 10 Ghana cedis. Nanu dia, send obenya. 10 Ghana cedis no. Media. 54,000 Ghana cedis. 54,000. 540 million. Here. We are the one who na make me is kase. Yeah. And then I giga. Adi tina we. Tina wa boki. Draw no na sa se no. Mami mi volume. Customer. One of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now. Or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Park is regulated by the National Lottery Authority.
Sorry, we took an abrupt break, but that's okay. We get going on to our next story. People are sending me. Somebody just, I just love my viewers. I love my viewers. Somebody just sent me a poster print. I'll show it to you after the text messages. And it shows contributions made to a certain Ghanaian enterprise, 1947, and it showed the contribution of George Alfred Grant. A viewer, I don't know him. So my phone, he just said, "You're making a good point. Show this to them. Show this to them." Why would anybody say that George Alfred Grant's name has been put on a university and he doesn't like it? A person who is a president of Ghana, former president of Ghana, they put George Alfred Grant, Pa Grant of Takwa, the one who gave birth to the Big Six. Who are the Big Six? Nkrumah, Dankwa, Bechebe Lamte, Kwaje, William Oforiatta, and of course Akufo-Addo. These are the Big Six. All of them, they were birthed by Pa Grant, his resources and his vision. And they put Takwa. Pa Grant deserves the University of Ghana. Pa Grant deserves the University of Science and Technology. He deserves it. He deserves the University of Cape Coast. Pa Grant. George Alfred Grant's University of Cape Coast. I think Takwa is even too small for the man who gave birth to the independence movement in Ghana. The United Gold Coast Convention paid money for Osagyefo to come so that in 2000 when the BBC voted, that Osagyefo was voted as the African of the Century ahead of Nelson Mandela. That man was created by Pa Grant. And we put Pa Grant's name on a polytechnic. It should be on Cape Coast University. John Dramani Mahama here says no, he doesn't want it. John Mahama says no, he doesn't want it. He said no, he doesn't want it. It's not about the president. It's the people who looked at the speech. Every president has people looking at the speech. The people who prepared the speech, the people who gave the report, the people who gave him the idea, the people who told him what the audience are expecting. All of those people, what kind of work were they doing for the president? We'll talk about Fifi Kwete in a minute on the touch screen because he says Muhammadu Bawumia is a disgrace to the Northerners. We'll get to that in a minute. Here are the text messages from what we've been doing so far.
All right, so coming from Samoa Apenteng, Samoa says, Mahama has no policy for Ghanaians. Instead of telling us what he can do, he's moving around making empty promises. Ghana needs a leader who has vision, new ideas, and ready to change the fortunes of Ghana through innovative policies that will help Ghana work again. It is possible. Bennett Dancy here says, good evening, Paul. I'm not sure former President Mahama has any vision or core policies for this country, else he wouldn't be touring this country making cheap political promises, even though he has already signaled he was never going to promise anything in his campaigns, thinking that the people will be that gullible to fall for his trickery. Now, Master Planner from Kintampo says, did Mahama say all the public universities were established and built by the NDC? When University of Ghana and Kane University were constructed, where was NDC by then? Even the UDS Rawlings established in 1992, today their main campus in Tamale was constructed by ex-president Kufuor after the infrastructures he built for 2008 African Cup of Nations. He converted those infrastructures into University of Development Studies, Tamale branch after that Enyakpala campus, which lacked so many facilities. Also, Mubarak Sali says a drowning man clutches at straws. So far, I cannot credit any message of President Mahama. I remember President Kufuor's golden age of business, Kufuor buses, Akufo-Addo's free SHS. Mahama, what has been in his legacy? Mahama has us shooting himself in the foot, even he doesn't want to honor his kinsman. Now, lastly, Junior Akbar from Tamale says, the fact of the matter is simple. This our former president have nothing to offer us. All what he know is I'll cancel this or that. What kind of president are you? I think we should be mindful of the people we choose to lead this great nation. Dr. Bawumia will be the best president forever when given the opportunity. Let us give him the chance to move this nation forward.
All right, so this is from Mubaraka, and he says, so renaming a university is a national policy by a former president seeking re-election. No campaign message. Anyway, Ghanaians have short memories. And this is coming from Logistic Junior, and he says, as Vice President, Dr. Bawumia has demonstrated his commitment to transparency, accountability, and effective governance through the use of technology. And from Jonas, he says, as Ghanaians are so serious looking for a better alternative for election 2024, he goes around promising butter and bread without basis. And lastly, coming from Charles, he said, we need a clear vision, not hysterical statements. Antoinette.
Far. Regarding Mahama's tour in the north, it tells you that he lacks vision and technical know-how to lead this country again. How does a dead goat syndrome, I'm not a magician, and others want to come back? He should stay and enjoy his ex gratia in peace. Now, Real Max B says, Apostle Paul, what do you expect Mahama to be campaigning with since he doesn't have policies and programs? These are some of the trivial and hollow messages we will be hearing from him. Now, all the way from Nkranza, Nana Kofi Jomo says, Mahama since 2016 has not brought up any policy on his own. He only ran commentary on trending issues. Society talks of digitalization. The next day, he promises 24-hour economy. Society talks of Black Stars. Mahama promises to overhaul Black Stars. Society talks of Galamsey. He makes promises on it. So if society doesn't talk, Mahama has no tangible ideas for Ghanaians. Greetings to Harriet Tremantin upon the PCNPP in Kranza South. Alhaji Yusuf Husseini says Ghana has never elected a former president in our history after losing re-election bid twice. There is no scientific proof that the NPP cannot win the next elections. So let the NDC not see the next elections as an automatic win just because some election predictors point to a victory for the NDC. Dr. Bawumia is yet to warm up into his campaign. Now, Babi from Obuasi says, I'm still in shock. Incompetent Mahama is still campaigning, seeking to lead this country he destroyed with his doomsday, thievery, and incompetence. In Kwame, will changing of the names increase the GDP or will it decrease inflation rate? Let Mahama come with his tangible promises. Now, lastly, Elom Kwame Phillips says, this is why I don't follow Ghanaian politics. I'm actually waiting for a dual presidential debate between DNB and JDM. Just the two of them. It really would be fun to watch. Now back to you, Paul.
Okay, so let's get back onto the touchscreen and deal with the other stories as time is running already against us. Okay, great. So I told you, a viewer sent me this. I don't know whether viewers can see it clearly. Can you put it out so that somebody I don't know, he just sent me this. So let me read it out. What is it? It's about the Foundation Fund. Something called the Foundation Fund. Subscriptions received up to 31st August 1947. The highest subscription, £250, George Alfred Grant. The next is W. Kwesi Mold. Please, if your grandfather's name is mentioned, raise your hand. If your grandfather's name is mentioned, come back to the studio. You know, my grandfather's name will not be there, but please, if your grandfather's name is mentioned, just raise your hand. Let me go through it. Let me start again. You know, we love history here on this show, so even though we're out of time, this is sweet gossip. So let's deal with it. Okay. All right. So here we go. The Foundation Fund subscription up to 31st August 1947. Number 1, George Alfred Grant, £250. W.J. Kwesi Mold, £25. Number 3, F.A. Awono Williams, £50. Number 4, R.S. Blay, £50. Number 5, J.B. Dankwa, £50. Number 6, S.E. Aka, £52. Number 7, K. Benti Enchel, £100. Number 8, D. Miles Abedu Jr., £25. Number 9, Edward Akufo-Addo, £25. Number 10, J.A. Budu, £25. Okay. Number 11, E.O. Lamte, £25. Number 12, J. Quist Thurston, £25. Number 13, E.A.N. Focus Crab. It's a difficult English name, but I think he's a guy man. £25. Anonymous, somebody paid £2. He didn't want his name to be mentioned. He was probably afraid of the colonial authority. J.A. Vincent Khan, £10. J. Wilfred Arthur, £10. Tufuhini A.R.M. Kosa, £25. W.E. Oforiata, that's William Oforiata, £25. Sam W. Duncan, £10. S.R. Wood, £10. Small sums collected at the meeting on the 4th, 8th, 47 Convention Day came to £2.44. Altogether, £823 was raised for the setting up of the United Gold Coast Convention. And if today George Alfred Grant's name is put on Takwa, John Mahama says he doesn't like it. Let me have President Mahama's photograph. Let me salute him again. I salute you, Mr. President. But please, your advisors, they are all my friends. You know, we need to have a very sophisticated campaign. We need to drive it. You certainly have a vision. I mean, everybody admires your communication skill. You have a vision. Let the vision come out. Let's assess it. Dr. Baumia would have a vision. Let's have 2 great visions and run this election. Whoever wins, whoever God gives the crown to, we all bless the person. We go to Independence Square. The person is sworn in, and we all go back home and have our Ghana back. So please, your advisors, this kind of is not good. NDC people, Justice D.F. Annan. Talk about Justice D.F. Annan. They should name Accra Academy after him. Why? Because he's NDC? No, because he's a distinguished Ghanaian. Justice D.F. Annan is a distinguished Ghanaian. Mr. P.V. Obey, they should name the Konongo Dumasi if there's a polytechnic there, the P.V. Obey Polytechnic. Is it because he's NDC? No. Is it because he's MPP? No. Because P.V. Obey is NDC, but more importantly, he's a distinguished Ghanaian. P.V. Obey is a distinguished Ghanaian. Justice D.F. Annan is a distinguished Ghanaian. Alhaji Hudu Yahya is a distinguished Ghanaian. Baba Kamara is a distinguished Ghanaian. Obeda Samoa is a distinguished Ghanaian. Is it because they are NDC? No, they are distinguished Ghanaians. Dr. Obeda Samoa is a distinguished Ghanaian. Mohamed Ibn Chambers is NDC. But beyond that, Mohamed Ibn Chambers is a distinguished Ghanaian. We want our children to be like Chambers. We want an aspirational society. We want our children to be like Justice D.F. Annan. Whether he's NDC or not is not the point. The idea about naming things after people is to create an aspirational society. Please tell them. It is not for fun. It's not for joke. It's not for politics. It is to create an aspirational society so that the society is climbing. It's not degrading. It is climbing all the time. After 50 years, it's climbed. There was Rockefeller in America. They thought he was the limit of making money and being wealthy. Then came Bill Gates. They thought he was the limit. Then came Elon Musk. They thought he was the limit. And another one is coming, and another one is coming. Why? Because America creates an aspirational society. Thank you very much, sir. All right, let's get to Fifi Kwete. I saw this video and I was completely flabbergasted. Fifi Kwete says Mahamudu Bawumia is a disgrace to the North. Fifi Kwete. He says Mahamudu Bawumia is a disgrace to the North. Fifi Kwete. Fifi Kwete said it. Fifi Kwete was a distinguished minister of agriculture. During his period, the first time in the history of Ghana, agriculture grew at negative. By the time Usufri Akoto came to take over agriculture, agriculture was growing at negative. Under Fifi, it was growing at negative. Growing at negative. That is Fifi Kwete's record. He says, Mahamudu Bawumia is a disgrace to the North. See the video.
That sound that represents a disgrace to the North should never rise to the leadership of this country, because that will be a disgrace to the whole of the northern region.
Sorry, that's not the video. It's the same video, but it's a longer version. We're going to get you the better version. Really sorry about that. This is another version that I'll be using, but it's not this. It's not this version I want to introduce the narrative with. This is the version. Is it ready? Let's hear whether it's ready.
God is giving us again an opportunity to make a choice between two people. And these two people happen to come from the northern part of Ghana. One from the Savannah region, the other one from the northeast. Both of them original northern Ghana. Whereas one is known as a liar who can never tell the truth. The other one can be trusted for what he promises to give you. And northern region, you owe it to Ghana to make sure that that son that represents not your best image, that son that represents a disgrace to the North, should never rise to the leadership of this country, because that will be a disgrace to the whole of the northern region. Northern region, you need to do everything possible to ensure that that son of yours, that is an absolute disgrace and a humiliation to all of you, never rises to become the president of this country. You have been blessed to have a son who can be trusted.
Fifi Kwete. Did you see Alhaji Hudu Yaya's body language? Did you see it? Alhaji Hudu Yaya was shocked to the bone and marrow when he heard those words. Everyone clapped when he said, "You have an alternative in John Mahama." And then he went on a tangent and said, "Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace." Fifi Kwete. He says Bawumia is a disgrace to the North, and that the Northerners should ensure that this disgrace doesn't happen. He said, "Please play the smaller one, play the shorter one, play that again, the shorter one, play it."
That son that represents a disgrace to the North should never rise to the leadership of this country, because that will be a disgrace to the whole of the northern region.
You heard him. Fifi Kwete here says that Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace. Hey! Why? Politics. This is not politics. This is just wrong. This is just simply wrong. Fifi Kwete is not a disgrace. No, by no stretch of the imagination. Fifi Kwete is not a disgrace. A member of parliament, he's a minister before, he's working, he's a career banker. He's not a disgrace. But should Fifi Kwete be able to say, because of politics, that Alhaji Bawumia is a disgrace? Let me have Fifi Kwete and Dr. Bawumia's photograph here. Let me have it here. I'll make an illustration. It's a simple question I'm going to ask you viewers. Those of you who can send text, send a text for the answer. So this is Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party. This is Fifi Kwete, who says that Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace to the North, that he's a disgrace. Please play the longer version. The longer version again. Play the longer version.
God is giving us again an opportunity to make a choice between two people. And these two people happen to come from the northern part of Ghana. One from the Savannah region, the other one from the northeast. Both of them original northern Ghana. Whereas one is known as a liar who can never tell the truth. The other one can be trusted for what he promises to give you. And northern region, you owe it to Ghana to make sure that that son that represents not your best image, that son that represents a disgrace to the north, should never rise to the leadership of this country, because that will be a disgrace to the whole of the northern region. Northern region, you need to do everything possible to ensure that that son of yours, that is an absolute disgrace and a humiliation to all of you, never rises to become the president of this country. You have been blessed to have a son who can be trusted.
So that was Fifi Kwete. Okay, so we have the two men on the screen. Disgrace. Fifi Kwete says Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace. Now I'm going to put a question, and those of you can respond to social media. Please send us a message on Good Evening Ghana Official on Facebook. If you are a parent, say you are 31, 28, 38, 44, 51, 62, you're a parent, and you have a boy, given your age, if you are 62, maybe your boy is a teenager. If you are whatever, maybe your boy is 9 years, 10 years old, 11, 9, 14. You have a boy. And your boy has a destiny call. And there are two choices. And he needs to choose one. I believe Fifi Kwete and Dr. Bawumia are about the same age. Dr. Bawumia is 60. Fifi Kwete may be about 55. So let's put the two of them, I say, at age 55. So that Dr. Bawumia goes back like 5 years. Take Dr. Bawumia 5 years back. And you have a boy who is 11. And you have a destiny call. And you have to choose between one of these outcomes for your son. Which one will you choose? Please tell me honestly. You have to choose that your son, who is now 11 or 9, by the time he is 56, he will be like Dr. Bawumia. Or by the time he is 56, he will be like Fifi Kwete. Which one are you going to choose? So what's Dr. Bawumia's background? Dr. Bawumia went to Sakasaka Primary School in Tamale. Sakasaka Primary School is not an elite school. It's a basic school. It's an ordinary school. People call it Saito. His father was Mumuni Bawumia, the most distinguished. It didn't matter. They took him to Sakasaka Primary School so that he would learn the ropes. That's where Dr. Bawumia started from. He didn't come there from Sakasaka Primary School with his good grace to go to Achimota and Wesley Girls and Addis Adel. No, he kept faith. His father kept faith with Tamale. He took him to Tamale Secondary School. That's Dr. Bawumia's background, and I'm showing you so that you decide where your son, which one you want your son to be like. From Sakasaka Primary School, he went to Tamale Secondary School. That's his background. From Tamale Secondary School, he went abroad to go and do a diploma in accounting. That he studied at, where did he even study the diploma in accounting? He studied the diploma in accounting in Buckingham. No, the degree. He studied a diploma in accounting somewhere in London. He got a diploma in accounting. And then he went to do a degree in economics. He got a first class at Buckingham University. And after that, he studied on to do a master's in economics at the University of Oxford. And then he went over to Vancouver in Canada to do a PhD in economics. And then he came to teach at Wolf Caesar University, something like that. And then he worked at the IMF as an economist. When in 2008, and he came to Bank of Ghana, we know all that. When in 2008, the election was lost, and Dr. Bawumia went out, he was nominated by the IMF to go and advise Robert Mugabe when Mugabe had the crisis. This is the story. Thank you very much. African Development Bank appoints Dr. Bawumia as rep for Zimbabwe. The African Development Bank, the AFDB, appointed Dr. Bawumia to go and represent them in Zimbabwe, to be able to work with the Zimbabwe situation. What is disgraceful about this CV? Fifi Kwete should tell us what is disgraceful about this CV. Why do Ghanaian politicians try to run themselves down so that people don't even respect politics anymore? You will never find a British politician at the other side of the aisle running another politician down saying he's a disgrace, especially when there's absolutely no basis for it. And especially when his CV is far stronger than Fifi Kwete's CV. When they are in the same political enterprise, Fifi Kwete should not be able to say Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace. But because of politics, he says it. So we allow it. Politics, so everything is fine. If the two of them are not politicians, where will Fifi Kwete hold a candle to Dr. Bawumia's achievements? Where? Because it's politics, it's politics, so that is it. So we can say anything about anybody. It is not fair. It is not building a great society. It is very wrong. And if it is with the NDC General Secretary, he must eschew that kind of character. It's even unchristian. It is bad. How can you tell us that you, Fifi Kwete, if your son becomes like Dr. Bawumia, won't you be happy? If your son becomes like Dr. Bawumia, Fifi Kwete should be happy. In fact, if his son becomes like Dr. Bawumia, his son has fulfilled scripture. For the glory of the latter days shall be more than the former. If Fifi Kwete's son becomes like Dr. Bawumia, the glory of the latter days has been more than the former. And he stands there to tell us that Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace because it is politics. We can't do politics like that. That is not politics. Politics is not a dirty game. Fifi Kwete says Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace because it is politics. You are running an NDC campaign. You are entitled to do so. Run your campaign. He is running an MPP campaign. He's entitled to do so. He will run his campaign. You can say Dr. Bawumia is incompetent. You can say Dr. Bawumia couldn't run the economy. But you cannot tell the people Dr. Bawumia is ready. And I think if you understand sociology, Fifi Kwete's anthropology doesn't work. You stand in front of Northerners. You tell them that one of their sons is a disgrace. That's why Hudu Yaya was looking like that. That is the reason why Alhaji Hudu Yaya was shocked. Fifi Kwete, you are an Ewe from the Volta region. You stand in Tamale and tell the Tamale people that Dr. Bawumia, their son, who has become vice president, who was the governor of the deputy governor of the central bank, who was respected by the African Development Bank, who went to Sakasaka Primary School. Dr. Bawumia is from the loins of the northern people. He went to Sakasaka Primary School, and then from there he went to Tamale Secondary School. He is truly a northerner who has risen to the occasion, and he has lived his name. He's Mumuni Bawumia's son. You tell them that Mumuni Bawumia's son is a disgrace to the northerners. NDC Communication, please talk to your General Secretary. Me, I don't mind. But you can't do politics like that. It's an anthropological faux pas. What he did. It's an anthropological faux pas. You stand in front of northerners and come and tell us. Like you come to my village in Kwamo. And what's that NDC man's name? Donko something. I remember it. He was DC for Ejoso under John Mahama. You come to Kwamo and come and tell us that because he's NDC, he's a disgrace. He's our brother. Yes, he's NDC. But he's our brother. Kojo Bonsu is NDC. But he's our brother. So you come to Kumasi, Ashanti region. You are doing MPP campaign. They say, Kojo Bonsu with Jimmy. Hey, you can't come and tell us that Kojo Bonsu with Jimmy. We won't accept it. We will vote against Kojo Bonsu. That is, I'm talking like MPP people will talk. They'll vote against Kojo Bonsu. They will. But he's their brother. You can't come and say things like that about him. Dr. Bawumia is a son of the North. He's a true son of the North. If today any northern chief is calling two of the important sons of the North, Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia will be called. Fifi Kwete stands there and tells the Northerners that your son is a disgrace because he thinks he's speaking for NDC. You are from the Volta region. Come and tell the Northerners that your son is a disgrace. Listen to Fifi Kwete. Listen to him. Listen to what he said. Let's a shorter video, please. Listen.
When today you are hearing Nana going all over the country, and that represents a disgrace to the North, should never rise to the leadership of this country because that will be a disgrace to the whole of the northern region. That sound that represents a disgrace to the North should never rise to the leadership of this country because that will be a disgrace to the whole of the northern region. That sound.
That's what he said. That's what he said. Fifi Kwete. He says, Bawumia represents a disgrace to the North. But if Bawumia represents a disgrace to the North, allow the Northerners to say it. Allow the Northerners to say it. Let the Northerners say it. That their Bawumia is a disgrace to them. Let the Northerners say it. Let Idrisu Haruna say it. I bet you Idrisu Haruna can never come out of Idrisu Haruna's mouth. It will never come out of Mahama Yarige's mouth. It will never come out of Muntake's mouth. It will never come out of Hudu Yare's mouth. Fifi Kwete has the effrontery. Go to Tamale and stand there. Tell them, son, grace. Their son, one of their few sons who went to Oxford University to inspire the children in the North, that you can hear of Oxford University as the best university in the world. Don't be frightened. Dr. Mumuni Bawumia's son went to school there. This is their family house. You can go and ask his mother. Go and ask his auntie. He went to school there. He can help you to go to school in Oxford. Don't be frightened by Oxford University. If you are in Sakasaka Primary School, don't be embarrassed. Don't be frightened. Don't think that you cannot achieve Harvard, because Bawumia went to Sakasaka Primary School and he went to Oxford. An NDC man will tell his son that, look at Alhaji Bawumia, he's the vice president. He became the deputy governor at the central bank. He came from here, Sakasaka Primary School. He was here, and then he went to Oxford. Fifi Kwete thinks all of that profile represents the word disgrace. That he can say that Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace because it is politics. Politics. Because it is politics. He can say Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace. We don't want that kind of. We certainly don't want that. We want a politics that represents a debate. And that's why I like this post by Bentel. Kofi Bentel wrote, we'll get there. Let's look at it. Okay. So this is also politics. But it's not politics of insults. He said, my earlier post elicited a lot of responses. Many say that they tried this government and it failed them. And so they want to do another trial. The same people are advocating for someone who earlier failed and was rejected. It's amazing they can't see the huge contradiction. That position is illogical when they advocate for John Mahama. You tried John Mahama and Nana Akufo-Addo, and you claim they failed. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has not been tried and he has not failed as president. So that logic falls flat. By the trial logic, the person left is Dr. Bawumia. If you are not to return to the certified proven failure, then only DMB is qualified. I'm simply saying, give the man a fair hearing. He is not Nanado, and he has been the best VP in Ghana's history. Okay, that's contentious. You can deal with it. Okay, in life we move forward. We don't go back, especially to what you tried and failed when you have a fresh choice. For me, even if I will make a mistake, I will make it going forward, not backwards. Very, very interesting. This is politics. This is good. Somebody can respond. I understand that Sami Jemfe responded, other people are responding. That's okay. You can't come and say Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace. How does Fifi Kwete manage that? How does Fifi Kwete even be able to say that? How does he do it? Fifi Kwete is Dr. Bawumia is a disgrace. That's what he said. Because it is politics. A man goes to Sakasaka Primary School and ends up with a PhD in Vancouver and be appointed by the African Development Bank to assist Robert Mugabe. He's a disgrace because you are doing politics. Now, Fifi Kwete, he has questions to answer to the Ghanaian people. And I'm coming to the free SHS. Fifi Kwete was opposed to a policy that has now educated, with the taxpayers' money, 1.8 million Ghanaians. Fifi Kwete was opposed to that policy. He was opposed to the policy. The policy that has now educated 1.8 million Ghanaians. He was opposed to it. He even called it a lie. See the video.
When today you are hearing Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP going all over the country shouting, free SHS, free SHS, free SHS. That is what you call all lie be lie. When today you are hearing Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP going all over the country shouting, free SHS, free SHS, free SHS. That is what you call all lie be lie.
And Fifi Kwete opposed this policy, and 6 years down the line, the policy that he opposed has now educated 1.8 million Ghanaians. He grew agriculture as negative, and he has the effrontery to call people like Muhammadu Bawumia, who wrote that free SHS policy, put it together with the government, Akufo-Addo Bawumia policy, that has educated 1.8 million people, and we still think that the government is a failure. Akufo-Addo government is a failure. Akufo-Addo government, yes, the world is difficult. I mean, show me, and we keep asking them, show me one country in the world that is doing well post everything that has happened from 2020 to 2022. Show me one country. It's a very difficult situation, and all of us are upset. Everybody's angry. But when we have to look at voting, we need to vote for our future. We can't vote on anger because, well, if it's anger of the government doing something wrong, vote against them. But show me what's happening globally. Where is any government doing well? Show me that in 2018, 2019, Akufo-Addo Bawumia economics was bad. Then I'll believe you, because they inherited an economy from Fifi Kwete and John Mahama that was growing at 3.4, and consistently they grew it at an average of 8 until COVID. Until COVID. Before COVID, show me that the government was wrong. Show me. Where was it? Where could anybody see? In fact, during COVID, it was said that guy did a video and said that by June, the NDC egu. You remember that video? That theater house boy, very clever boy. Because everybody said at this rate, the NPP doesn't have an opposition. Because 2017, 18, 19, people saw what Akufo-Addo government was able to achieve. And then the politics comes in, and then we are all suffering. So yes, of course, when we are all hungry, we are hungry and we are angry. A hungry man is an angry man, Bob Marley said. So yes, that works. But if we are going to vote, let us vote for the future. Let's not go back. Vote for the future. That's all I can say about this. It's 15 minutes to the top of the hour. At 11, I'll be inviting Alhaji Bello to come in and tell me what's happening in Mali in the confusion. But I'll take my text messages first from the three ladies. I believe. Sorry. 1 minute. One last one. The viewer who sent me the text. You know, I love my viewers. Yeah, I love my viewers. When I said I was trying to forget, did I say trying to forget? When I was forgetting a name, if a viewer just sent it to me, you know, my number is very common. You can get it. It's 265-779. You can call me. You can send me text. So don't worry about it. My number is open. You can call me and send me text. It doesn't matter. I'll look at it. He sent to me that it calls me Honorable Paul. Chief, I'm not honorable. Oh, my name is Adom. This is no honorable matter. It says, Honorable Paul, the name you were looking for is Yamwa Ponko Afrifa, the DCE of Ejuso. And it's from Ibrahim Cooper. He says his name is Ibrahim. Ibrahim Cooper, thank you very much. Yes, it's Yamwa Ponko I was looking for. Yamwa Ponko, is that? Yeah, I'm coming to Bob Hinson. Very good. Thank you. Timely. It's Yamwa Ponko I'm looking for. Yamwa Ponko is NDC. He's from Ejuso, Kwamo, my area. Myself and John Kuma come from the same area. We fight with Yamwa Ponko all the time. When I used to work for Asante Kotoko, he was helping me a lot because he said, we are because we are all from Ejuso, Kwamo. Now, Yamwa Ponko was John Mahama's DC. In fact, even at that time, people were campaigning, NPP were campaigning for Yamwa Ponko to become the DC. So if he came to Kwamo and come to tell us that Yamwa Ponko is a disgrace, I don't know whether the people will take it lightly, even if they are NPP. So politicians must be careful in their communication. Okay, let's get to Bob Hinson and wish him a very, very happy birthday. One of the people that you cannot but give a lot of respect to. Professor Ebo Hinson is the Pro Vice Chancellor of Ghana Telecom University, and is also a member of the the board of the Jospon Group of Companies. Ebo Hinson, a very good guy, friend of mine, started from Originates back in the day. He's demonstrated superior skills in marketing. He's globally recognized as a great marketer. Happy birthday, my brother. Happy birthday, Bob Hinson. Sometimes when he finds time, he watches this program. He'll call me and give me some chastising and some corrections. And all of people like Bob Hinson have truly helped to make Good Evening Ghana what it is. He's supported this program from day one. For the last, how many years have we been? Since 2001, Bob Hinson has supported this program. He actually gave us a sponsorship many years ago, NTHC. For about 3 years, sponsored this program, and it came from Bob Hinson. Thank you very much, my brother. Now he's a professor. He's gone so high that I can't reach him anymore. That every now and then when I go to Legon, when he was staying there, I'll go and visit him. I think he's still staying there. But Prof is a great mind, great idea, beautiful mind, and just a great socialite. Ebo Hinson, happy birthday. Call me when the party is due. I'm sure the weekend there'll be a party up the hill. I surely will be there. We can talk about the old days. He's a former student of Achimota School as well. Let's take the text messages. What are they saying?
All right. Manuel Darko says Fifi Quater is a passionate propagandist, so I'm not surprised how passionately he lies. Is he not the same person who said free SHS is all lie be lie with this same shameless passion? Mahama couldn't honor 70% of his 2012 campaign promises, from giving 400,000 laptops to university students and lectures, to paying of assembly members, to giving incentives to teachers in rural areas, to building houses for teachers, to the establishment of an accident evacuation service, etc. These are many promises John Mahama failed to deliver, which he is promising again this year, so we can call Mahama a liar and a trickster. Fifi can only be a general secretary in a political party where a dead goat is their flag bearer. Now, Nana Yao says Ghanaians eagerly seek a promising alternative for the 2024 election, yet JM has been consistently faking and making empty promises, likening his approach to that of a seasonal comedian offering butter and bread without substantial foundation. Now, Joseph Opon says, Paul, do you know the problem NDC has? They present former President Mahama as a freshman in our body politics, all because they think Ghanaians have short memories. Because if they don't think we have short memories, they'll present Mr. Mahama in humility to Ghanaians, where they will accept that the man they were busy marketing has weaknesses. And when got the chance to govern Ghana, he performed poorly to the extent that Ghanaians threw him out of the Jubilee House. Lastly, Philip says, Paul, Fifi Quater shouldn't be taken seriously as a politician. Look, let me remind you that this man, when he was MP for Ketu South, anytime his constituents complained of the NP not being visible in the constituency in order to know their fate in terms of development, he always told them if they are looking for him, they should look for his poster, and that his posters were all over the walls in Ketu South. He should name what he did developmentally to the people of Ketu South when he was MP and minister. What do you have for us?
All right, so coming from Joseph's perspective, he says, as for Fifi, don't waste precious time on him. He's doing what he has brought. He's doing what he was brought by his party people to do. Mr. Ofosu-Ampofo wouldn't allow such words to be vomited, so they pushed them aside to bring the likes of Fifi, who can speak immoral things. And James is saying that this same Fifi is still unrepentant. Very soon, we will drop another egg on his head. He didn't succeed with Akufo-Addo, and he will not with DMB. Isaac is saying that, good evening, Paul. I'm surprised till now NDC still can't bring any proper vision but to run people down. And Isaac is saying the last time Fifi said free SHS was 419, Nanado won, and free SHS won. So I am very sure and now certain that Dr. Bawumia has won 2024 election, hands down. Antoinette.
Okay, so Paul asked that our viewers choose between Fifi and then Dr. Bawumia. We have quite a number of votes. Nanayao says he chooses Fifi. Kwekwa Doma chooses Dr. Bawumia. Yabrago chooses Dr. Bawumia. Nana Ano and others, quite a number of other people are saying they would choose Dr. Bawumia. Master Planner Jr. from Kintampo says even if Fifi Quater's children would choose Dr. Bawumia as their destiny choice over their father Fifi, Dr. Bawumia is by his grace and not by disgrace. Fifi Quater and lots of the NDC guys can never argue any objective point without insult and personal attacks. Ata Eduse Ernest says, I would like my son to become great as Dr. Bawumia, not the ignorant and disrespectful Fifi Quater. We also have Nixon Ishan. Is it Fifi Quater, the man who went for his ministerial vetting and admitted that what he said about the then president stealing all our gold reserves was a mere campaign platform? Is that him? Yes, it's him. And lastly, okay. Okay. Hi, Paul. Good evening, brother. May God bless and protect you always. You are really a good man. I always watch you on Good Evening Ghana, and I pray to meet you someday. Back to you, Paul.
Okay, so we Short time now to 11, and we have unpalatable news from the sub-region, particularly from Mali. And Professor Bello is here to give us what's the latest?
Well, I think it's a sad news for democracy across the sub-region, because we are just dealing with the unprecedented decision of the 3 countries to leave ECOWAS. And then we have a challenge at hand, in which I don't think ECOWAS response is quite.
Have they had any response yet?
They issued a communique, but if you compare the words in it as to when they were condemning some of the coups, you could see the disparity.
What is his point? So he's in a second term?
He's in a second
term. When is the election due?
Election was due February 25th of this month.
So 25th of this month, a few weeks to go.
Yeah.
Campaign has started?
Yeah.
Has campaign started?
Yeah. There was suspicion all the way that he was trying to come for a 3rd term. He denied it vehemently.
Okay.
And now it seems he's trying to back someone on the throne, knowing that he cannot really extend his rule. But interestingly, Senegal has had one-party rule for so long, during the era of one-party rule across Africa, one-party.
Diop?
Not before Diop. Before Diop, we have Senghor. Early after independence, we had this one-party system.
Yeah, all over across, yes.
But unlike most African countries, Senegal equally had a peaceful transition from Senghor to Diop.
Were they not the same party?
The same party.
Yeah, but Diop was there for long.
Diop was the prime minister.
Yes.
Senghor was the first president.
Yeah.
But the transition from Senghor to Diop was peaceful. One. Okay. Senegal has never had a coup d'etat in its history.
Yeah. Till now.
Yeah, and the West have the ability to withstand tyranny. So perhaps he will just go down someone who attempted to extend his rule. But
who did Senegal take out on tyranny? They don't have any history.
Abdoulaye Wade also wanted to extend his rule, and by then he was part of Wade's party as a prime minister. He broke away from Wade's party, joined the opposition, and triumphed against Wade. But he's not coming to do what he rebuked Wade for doing.
Okay. Oh, I remember when they went on the streets against Wade.
And this was his statement when he was saying that I will initiate an open national dialogue to bring together the condition for a free, transparent, and inclusive election in peaceful Senegal. When we look at the articles of the Constitution, we begin to see that all what he's trying to do is in contravention of the law, and he has no power to do that. But then you see, this was Senghor to Diop and Wade. So we had that peaceful transition.
Okay.
And the ruling Socialist Party ruled from 1960 to 2000 when they were defeated by Wade's party. But then there are those who also argue that perhaps now having realized that he cannot come for a 3rd term, and his anointed candidate, who happened to be Amadou Ba, the current prime minister, does not have a strong command within the ruling party. He's trying to have a backdoor deal with Wade. One of the reasons why Karim
Wade, not Abdoulaye Wade.
No, not Abdoulaye Wade, the younger Wade.
So this is Karim Wade's son?
Yeah, no, Abdoulaye Wade's son, Karim Wade.
Abdoulaye Wade's son, okay, yes.
Was disqualified from the race because he has dual nationality.
America?
No, he holds a French nationality.
Okay.
So that was one of the reasons why
he's out.
He was initially barred from the race. And then you have Aminata Toure. You know, Ousmane Sonko from the PANSTEF, who was actually one of his vocal critics, was already having, was under detention.
In detention in Senegal?
Yeah, he was already jailed.
Okay.
And even because he has a very
fierce critic of the government.
Yeah, and he has a very strong command of the street and the youth because of his youthful age. So Aminata Toure emerged as the leading opposition figure. She was also arrested.
Oh, really?
Sonko was arrested.
Does opposition have seats in parliament in Senegal?
Yeah, it is 165 seats, but the number is quite very low. So he has a majority in parliament.
So these people represent a part of a party that has seats in parliament.
Yeah.
And how did they get detained like that?
I don't think PANSTEF has a seat in parliament.
Okay.
But then the Wade's party.
No, I mean, do they belong to a party that has seats in parliament? That's what I'm asking. Or is there opposition seats in parliament? Yeah,
they're opposition, but the number is very, very
Yeah, forget about the number. Is it those parties that these people also represent, or is it a different party? Do you understand my question?
I get a question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
he has any party at all.
No, if his party is in parliament.
Okay.
But for these two, they
are members of parliament from their party.
Because she even defected from the government to join the opposition rank.
Okay. But they are not members of parliament.
No. Okay. So what was when Sonko was arrested, he placed Basiru Faye as a surrogate.
He is Sonko.
Okay,
place this guy as a surrogate
just
to continue the movement, the mobilization.
Just like, when Nkrumah was under detention after the riot, Bedema had to be there.
Yes.
So he did that same. Okay. But then knowing that he was his Usman Sonko surrogate, he equally arrested him.
So he's also in jail?
Yeah. But now there's this belief that he postponed the election because there's an attempt to revoke the younger Wade's French citizenship that will allow the younger Wade to rule. Because the current president, and the Ward family have always have long history. He was a minister under the father. He was a prime minister under the father. So there was this backdoor deal around the room. But then the main difficulty, this takes us back to what Ouattara did. Just like Ouattara, Ouattara had to come for a third term when he's anointed his preferred successor, Amadou Gon Coulibaly, died unexpectedly. Then he decided to go for a third term. So he's equally backing his prime minister. But realizing that Amadou Ba doesn't really have that strong command, there's this belief that he's now striking a deal with the younger Ward. And there are those who equally see the hands of French, because Sonko's argument has always been a bit of anti-French.
Colonial French.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
That's
then,
an imperial French.
Yeah. But then let's look at ECOWAS' remarks when they were condemning the coup in Niger. ECOWAS has received the news of attempted coup in Niger. ECOWAS condemned in strong terms the attempt to seize power by force and called the coup protest to free democratically elected president. It goes down the line. But then look at their choice of word when they were dealing with Senegal. The commission takes notice of the decision Senegal's authorities have taken to postpone the presidential election, scheduled to take place February 25th. ECOWAS commission expresses concern over circumstances that have led to postponement of the elections and appeal to competent authorities to expedite various processes in order to set a new date for the election. The commission further urges the entire political class to prioritize dialogue and collaboration. But then, interestingly, they salute President Macky Sall for upholding his earlier decision not to run for a third term. He not running for a third term is not a favor to the Senegalese people. That is a dictate of the law. So he's not doing a favor. He does not deserve this salute. One. Secondly, the same strong-worded rebuke that was meted against the military coup, there are those who think when constitutional coup is taking place, the same form of response.
Maybe a little bit of time, because they've just merely postponed an election. They now have to come with a date for the new election.
He does not have that power in the constitution. And then that will lead us. And that will lead us to what do you call it? ECOWAS's own protocol on good governance. This is another, what do you call it, kind of cosmetic, for lack of a better word. But then,
what's in Article 3?
Article 3 of the Senegalese constitution says that sovereignty belongs to the people. And interestingly, it says here that no section of the people, no, any individual may arrogate the exercise of sovereignty. By trying to act unconstitutionally, he's in violation of Article 3. 1. Article 30 stipulates when the election should take place. 29 full days before the first round of ballot. They have this French double system. And the Constitutional Court orders to publish the list of candidates. That's Then Article 31 also says the ballot for the election of President of the Republic takes place 45 full days at most, and 30 full days at least before the date of expiration of the mandate of the President of the Republic.
When is the President expiring? When is he expiring? When is he supposed to hand over?
He was supposed to hand over in May.
But so this works. 30 days. You are still within.
But the question is, the Constitution did not give him the power to postpone elections.
So who has the power to postpone elections? The Electoral Commission? Do they have the Constitutional Court?
The Constitutional Council.
Yeah.
Not him.
What have they said about his action?
No, there was a dispute between he and the Constitutional Court over the party list. But
what is party list?
They have this semi-presidential system where you have the Prime Minister emerging from Parliament. So they have this, is it what do you call it?
The ministerial list?
What do you call it? How do you call this? Where you list the party. So according to the number of, what do you call it? The list, each party, then you get your seat is given.
Yeah, proportional representation.
Yeah. So they use that kind of mix.
Yeah, they use proportional representation.
So there's a dispute between, and so that was how come the Constitutional Council disqualified Ward over, what do you call it, his dual nationality. And then Usman Sonko was accused of rape.
So do they have a set of candidates who have been cleared for the election?
So what the opposition is saying is that already the omission of some candidates was just to favor the ruling party and to allow him, since he cannot come for a third term, decide
to choose who he wants to take over.
But then the opposition fought firmly on the street. So he realized that even going to the ballots, he cannot win. But perhaps...
Has he said he wants to run?
Initially, he was quiet, but his moves... let's look at Condé. Some of the things Condé...
So right now, what's the situation in Senegal? They are waiting for a new date, or they are insisting on 25th February?
He postponed it indefinitely. But initially, the speculation was that the postponement will even be up to August 25th. But what was passed in Parliament postponed the election to December.
So Parliament did it?
Yeah. But then under duress, we'll get there.
Yeah, I understand that, but in terms of the the documentation. It's Parliament that did it. Parliament that did the postponement. Is that what the documentation will say?
Well, the documentation will appear under Parliament.
Yeah. Well, it will be signed by either the Speaker, the Clerk, the Leader, the Prime Minister.
But even if it is done in Parliament, it must have legal merit.
No, I'm not talking about its legality.
Yeah, no, so,
I'm locating the documentation. It's Parliament that did it.
Yeah, and that is why this appears to be more of an institutional coup. I don't like to use the word constitutional coup.
Yeah, but in Parliament, there's opposition there. The minority are there.
Yeah.
Did they say something about it?
They were bundled out by the security forces.
Physically?
Yeah, physically.
Really?
So, but this is in case of a resignation of the president or definite incapacity or death of the president of the republic, and then president of the National Assembly takes over. So ideally, if his term should have elapsed without
any election, National Assembly should take over.
National Assembly. So he has no power to extend his rule.
And but he hasn't. Has he extended his rule? Or Parliament have postponed the election? We need to be clear.
He postponed the election and now took the bill to Parliament to endorse the process. So the
he took the decision and went to Parliament for ratification.
Yeah. So the initial
and Parliament have ratified it.
And the initial
but you are saying that it was with minority being carried out by security.
But had his term elapsed, then the leader of the National Assembly should have taken precedence.
But we haven't gotten there. His term hasn't elapsed.
But then, this is if his term has elapsed.
Yes, so we are not there.
But the same constitution provided for this. Then that there could be there could be
some problem.
But the constitution did not provide for the president to suspend in order to extend his own term.
Is that what he's doing?
That's what he's doing.
But has he said he's staying beyond May?
By extending without election.
No, he can go and the election will okay.
It doesn't look as if he's going.
No, but we have to get there before you can make that analysis. You have to get to May and he's still there, then you know he's violated that.
He's only playing the book of Konde and Ouattara. The only difference between
I know all that, but when it hasn't happened, you can't say it will happen. You can't say it will happen. It's a possibility, but you can't.
But the first question here is that this is an unconstitutional move.
Yes, the illegality of postponing the election is clear.
So the question is, why is ECOWAS trying to massage this and then try to play nice with constitutional coup and then be firm on military coups? That's the main.
The constitutional coup question is more diverse than just postponing elections.
Well, I think
it's not simple. The military coup one is easier to determine,
and that is why I brought the articles of ECOWAS, protocol on good governance and democracy. Yeah. Article 1 states the following: separation of powers, executive, legislature, and judiciary, empowerment of just look at, and then that is A.
Yeah.
B. Every accession to power must be made through free, fair, transparent elections. Right. One, which doesn't seem to be happening in Senegal.
Why?
Because of the moves he's taking. You can't begin to sideline the opposition.
Yeah, those arrests.
Zero tolerance for power obtained or maintained by unconstitutional means, not military coup.
Yeah.
He's fall short of this. Then the question is why that kind of mad.
But the people who have been arrested.
So the question is, so when people say that ECOWAS perhaps encourages these sort of things, well, we may kind of disagree with them, but they clearly have a very.
I think we should wait and see what happens at the end of February, 25th February, what the Constitutional Court come up with, what Parliament come up with, whether Macky Sall is going to say that he wants to extend his term beyond May, or that he wants to participate in elections again.
But do you remember Guinea?
Yeah, which part of the Guinea story?
Conde, Alpha Conde. Same thing took place. ECOWAS stayed mute. But when he was ousted out of office, they came with this kind of. And that is why, if you look at the four coups across, that of Doumbouya seems to have more legitimacy.
The Guinea one.
Yeah, on the face value.
On the basis that the guy was extending his term.
Than
the others, yeah.
But then, ECOWAS also came hard at him. But the question is, if you could go hard at him, why do you allow those who usurp the
What did ECOWAS do? You mean the statement? The statement they issued against him was more direct, asking him to hand over power back and
was more direct. But also by actions, we see suspension against the military government.
Yes, of suspension of the country from ECOWAS.
Yeah. But when people use almost for lack of better word,
Senegal has not been suspended.
It has not been suspended.
No such announcement.
But there are those who also think that there's a French hand behind the scene that is playing.
That suspicion will always be there.
You know, Sonko comes from this anti-French nationalist. What do you call it? Not necessarily anti-French, but he believes that Senegal should have more benefit of its relationship with France. And then this is a video, but this is a screenshot of what the person said. France hand at work.
Ah, okay.
And then this is an old picture of Abdullah Awad.
It's foreigner Singbe?
No. This is
the current president, Sal?
Macky Sall.
Okay.
And then
his son.
Karim Wad.
Okay.
Those will be the backdoor deal.
Okay.
But this is one of the scenes from Parliament.
Oh, this is on the day of the event.
This is what happened.
The day when they were asked to ratify the president's decision.
That was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah. This is what happened.
This is what happened.
Yeah.
What are the soldiers doing in there? They are taking out some MPs.
They are taking the opposition out so the bill could be passed. But then if ECOWAS tend to act as if they didn't see this and come and bring that.
So this is on social media, these photographs?
Yeah, everywhere across the media. And come and bring that sugar-coated West. I mean,
okay.
People have problem with that.
This is to be condemned.
And we also can't blame them when they have issue with that. So ECOWAS should rather, be up and doing. Else we encourage more coup. But then interestingly, you see, this picture was very inspiring to me, very interesting. That if Senegal happens to be the home of the Teranga Lions, and we have seen not even longevity of Senghor or Diouf, has teamed their yearning for freedom. And what
so this is a resistance parade?
Yeah, this is the
demonstration, protest.
And people, and then the response of the security force has been.
Oh, this is an old man who is on the street.
Heavy-handedness.
Yeah.
But
really?
Yeah.
They're shooting at people?
The video, the picture I showed, is actually a video where they were like confronting these are an old car, and these are the protesters, 200, and then they also responding with tear gas and rubber bullets and the likes. So everything that transpired in Guinea prior to the coup
is happening almost.
Is what is happening.
Yeah, it's playing out in Senegal.
And then if we can use the benefit of the hindsight, then we can see that perhaps ECOWAS had not learned its lesson. Because Guinea should have taught us. Because the only reason why Ouattara had his way and Condé wasn't successful was two. Unlike Ouattara, Condé didn't have a firm grip of the army. But Ouattara, by the virtue of the civil war, that resulted in his, in his emergence, pro-Gbagbo members of the military were sidelined. And when he came to power, he was also able to ease out the likes of his former allies when they became opponents, Guillaume Soro and the like. So he had a firm grip of the army. He only had the opposition to contend with. And that was why he was able to survive it. But because Condé did not have that kind of strong control over that, he lost it. So the question is, would ECOWAS wait for perhaps a coup d'etat to happen before they take a more stronger decision, or they would rather wait for more blood to be shed before they come to take a firm decision? The ball is in ECOWAS.
Let's wait till the end of February and see what happens. That was a very good presentation by Hassan Bello. Let's take the 2 or 3 text messages on that one, and then we'll be wrapping up for tonight. We'll do our political story on Thursday. Let's take text messages. I think Fatih will be first.
Okay, so Tope says, Bello, Macky Sall's decision to stay on until December is to ensure that he harvests from the fossil fuel deal with the EU, which he helped extensively negotiate. It will be interesting to see if the EU will stick to him for the deal, but the catch here is that the EU is also desperate to tour a new path of energy independence, given Russia's military actions in Ukraine. Also, Togbe comes again and says, yes, Parliament voted yesterday to extend the election to December. I watched the proceedings live. At some points, they disconnected internet services, but the opposition was also physically hunted out of the House before the votes were taken originally. The elections were to take place on 25th February, so clearly this is an illegality, but there's only one reason why Macky Sall wants to hold on until December, and that is the massive fossil fuel deal he's made with the EU, which is to come to fruition this year. There is no other reason for this illegal alteration of the electoral calendar in Senegal. What do you have?
So, LPM, the Makers Electronics Company Limited, is the Makers Electronics Blessing Attack promo rushed the Makers Electronics Company Limited for up to 67% discount on selected appliances such as Samsung, LG, Moved, Nasco, TCL, Media, and Toshiba. Quality but affordable with 2 years manufacturer defect warranty. Visit our showrooms, Taifa Burkina Highway, Amasamai Zongo Junction, Oyarifa Taiman, Kaswa New Market, Ashaiman Valco Flats, Kumase Ahenema Kokobein, and Takrade Efie Kuma. Call us on 055 22 22253 or 055 The Makers Electronics Company Limited, large and in charge with quality but affordable home appliances and consumer electronics. Terms and conditions do apply.
Okay, now Kingdom Home Real Estate provides quality but affordable housing facilities for sale. Our facilities are located at a serene environment at a with the best weather condition. We are 30 minutes drive from Accra and provide modern touch of comfort. We provide a high standard security service plus CCTV, standby generators, constant water supply, and electricity. We are surrounded with lovely tourist sites such as Ebri Botanical Garden, Boti Falls, Safari Valley Resort. Pay 70% upfront and spread the rest, which is the 30%, within 2 years with no interest. Locate us at Ebri, close to Ebri Girls SHS, and Ekropom right after the latter junction. Call us on 0559 761 144 or 0555 621 611. Visit us at www.kingdomhomerealestate.com and on our Facebook. Black Star Press Limited, we grow businesses inside inventive minds, evolving concepts and creative trends. Black Star Press Limited is a printing press you need now. Witness the beauty, diversity, and natural wonder with our works inside Black Star Press Limited in association with Lionhead Group of Companies. Call us now on 0200-880000 for all your printing works. Black Star Press Limited, a worldwide reputation for quality printing.
AutoFix is the biggest car service center here in Ghana. We offer a wide range of auto services in real time. We have well-trained staff in various departments such as auto mechanic, auto electrician, street nurse, welders, sprayers, and bodyworks. At Nadum AutoFix, we offer 24/7 towing services to all our clients so we can conveniently bring your immovable car to our service center. Our services include car diagnostics, mechanic works, auto servicing and oil change, alignment and balancing, bodyworks and spraying, car detailing, that is polishing interior and exterior of your car to look brand new, steam engine wash, that's washing your car engine without using water, sale of car battery. We also have in stock car tires of all rim sizes at a whole and retail price. We free fixing when you buy tire from us. We are the biggest distributors of used and brand new tires in Ghana, and you can use Metro TV as a reference for a special discount. We work 24/7 so you can drive through every time. We are located at Dansuman, direct opposite to Dansuman KFC and the Shell Fuel Station. You can call us on 055-830-8340. Now we have Amen Alternative Medical Hospital, which is the first to modernize herbal and homeopathy medicine in Ghana. With our trained and experienced medical practitioners from KNUST, combined with the state-of-the-art medical equipment, every hidden ailment will be diagnosed with ease and treatment given in no time. We offer consultation, counseling, physiotherapy, homeopathy to treat most ailments. Your life is precious, so secure a good health with Amen Alternative Medical Hospital. Working hours are 7 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Monday to Saturday, and then on Sundays it's 11 p.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. Locate us at Clegon on the Lashibi Ashaman Road near the Underbridge. Book an appointment with us on 0207 229 505 or 0244 227 192. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital. God is our healer. Back to you, Paul.
Okay, so I think that's about it for tonight's edition. Hopefully you have enjoyed the program, and you send us your text messages. We'll load it up on social media and see what people say about it. Thanks for watching. Good evening, Ghana. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Good night.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
Oh, hallelujah. Christianity is not a religion, neither is it a joining of a